It's muted. Sorry about that. Welcome to the live stream. Note to Keith, push the mute button. Just push the button. Welcome to the live stream. My name is Keith. This is Life Journey Production Studios, and it is great to have you guys with me. Those of you that have already jumped on, those of you that won't hear any of this unless you watch it later. Did get a shout out from Tony today. He's in the air, so shout out to Tony from Quick Tech Solutions, flying home. And nice to have people reach out to me and let me know that they're not going to be here, which is totally great. It's obviously live, and we set a new record, 8 days, 3 live streams. So I was live last Tuesday, last Wednesday, and I'm live tonight. So let me tell you a little bit about where we're going, and then we will jump into the chat and say hi to the people that are here. Number one, we're going to update the Studio Live 32SC console. I've noticed that there was an update and I saved it, so I thought I would do it live. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the app on the iPad. You can update it from there. You can also update it from your laptop. I have it networked here in the studio, so it's faster to update it that way. So I'm prepared to do that tonight. So it will automatically reboot, and then it does some crazy things when it reboots. So that will be kind of fun to do tonight. You can see what happens with the Presonus Studio Loive 32SC once it does a firmware update and reboots. The second thing we're going to do tonight is we're going to look at the last beta update for the, let's see, it's Cam, what is it called? Camera Hub by Elgato. Old age. That gives you the control of the Elgato prompter. It gives you control of the Facecam or the Facecam Pro. Now, I don't have a Facecam Pro. And we're going to look at what was updated in the latest regular version. And then I am now downloading beta versions because I want things to crash on me. So, but a shout out to Hank tonight because his suggestion was, well, he reached out to me in an email. He's attended the Zoom gatherings before, so we've communicated back and forth. And so it was his suggestion, asked me if I had looked at the beta, sent me a video of a guy doing a video on the beta 1.9 version of the Camera Hub software by Elgato. And that, again, controls the Facecam, so that's how you can control the prompter part of it, the video part of it. So I have the prompter over on the table. It's not even plugged in. So we'll be plugging that in a little while and demoing that. Right now I have a camera set up, the face camera set up in the plug-in. So I'm going to be switching those out here tonight. But everything should work fine. So let's jump into the chat now and see who's with us. Let's turn chat on the air here. Let's see, that off, chat on, and should be good to go. So let's go up here. U-Step Productions was in early. That is not on the screen. Chat on. Oh, what in the world is going on? Let's turn Skycam off. And let's fix the chat now. Not sure what happened. Let's do chat off. What is going on with chat tonight? Let's just see here. I need a mouse. Nice to do this stuff live. Okay, see, chat comes in right here. And somehow that got on DVE. So let's see if this is going to switch it back to DVE. Nope. What is going on here? Okay, well, that is interesting. Everything on DVE 3 has been changed. Let me try this one more time. Chat on, Chat off. Okay. Let's fix this. Not key 3, it's key 4. It's on DVE. Let's try this now. There we go. Oh man, I have 4 keys, upstream keys, 2 downstream keys. Sometimes I forget the macros, which one they're using. So again, here you have it. U-Step Productions. I'm excited to show my support for tonight's stream and also see more on the prompter. See you in a few hours. He was on here really early. And so shout out to U-Step Productions. David is in the house. Like button smash, and it's still 3 hours away. So hope David made it back on, but he already smashed the like button. I'll be ready to receive you with smiles tonight. That was my response. Hank said he's looking forward to the Elgato Prompter version 1.9 beta update. Hank lets us know where he's from. Bluffton, South Carolina. Doug, hi back. It's good to have you in the stream tonight. People are saying hi back and forth. So Austin is back. Good to have you. David says no sound. I have sound now because I can see the meter. So hopefully I have sound. Let me know if it sounds great right now and I'll go forward in the chat. Okay. TVJ says hello. And we're going to update the studio live. I guess that's a conversation between you and the other people in the chat. It's good to have you, Jay, tonight. Thank you for making your stream last night. You're welcome. I did my best. Monday nights usually are crazy around here, but last night I found myself sitting there when the alert came up, so it was great to be with you. Good to have Joe here on tonight from Tech for Fun, and as usual, your lights is dinner today. So I don't know if that is my lights are dimmer today, but I'm sure that's what you're saying right there. It's dimmer. I'll adjust those here in a minute. Looks fine to me in the monitor. Tim Morrow, greetings from down under Melbourne, Australia. It's good to have you here tonight, Tim. And Joe says it sounds good. And let's just touch this here real quick. See what's happening. Exposure does seem a little low. What's the deal with that? Let me do something here. I'm going to go to 5.6. And still a little dark. I'm not sure why the auto iOS is not working, but I'm going to leave it there for tonight just because I can. So let's see. It looks fine. Just thought you maybe didn't turn the lights on your left side of your face. Yeah, well, I have both lights on, have the back room lights on. I have all my little MC lights on. I've got the Studio Live SC on. And so it looks like everything's on tonight. So hopefully you guys will bear with me. So I'm sure some more people will jump on, but I'm going to turn chat off here real quick. And so again, we're going to talk about the Studio Live console. I think I am ready to do that right now. So we're going to dive into this update. Let me minimize all of this YouTube stuff. And let's see if I have this ready to go here. I think this camera right here. Oh, let's just see what happens here. There we go. So I don't have anything in box 2, and I know that's because There we go. So we're going to do an update on this console right now. And those of you who've been on the channel for a while know that I added live mixing to my repertoire. So I bought some speakers. I still have to get a subwoofer. Still have to buy another rack for my backstage setup. Actually, I have a rack for my backstage setup. I need a rack for my front stage setup. I have a mobile rack that I use on the stage, which is one of my Samsung rack mounted on wheels that I used to use here in the studio. But you can see on the right hand side here that I have the Universal Audio software open, and I've selected my my Studio Live SC. So when you're networked, and when I take this offsite, I have a little network setup that I can use. Let me turn YouTube off here. So I can make a network there, wireless and everything, because you can use your iPad to control this console. You can use your PC to control it. You can record directly to your PC from this console. You can record in it. You can then do virtual sound checks by recording the band the night before and then using that to check the same mics even without the band there. Just play it back through the system. And also on my phone, let's turn it sideways here. I don't need my YouTube on. I have the app here, and I can also use this to mix a particular aux mix. So if someone's on stage, they can download the app on their smartphone or on an iPad, and then they can control their particular mix. And it's on aux mix 1 right now, and I'll show this later. But I can go to all the different auxes here, and so I can create whatever mix I want. And so each person can be assigned a particular aux, so they can only access that one. But right now, because I'm the boss, I can access all of those. So I could do a mix up on the stage using this app. And it's just a lot of things. I'm still learning. So much has changed since I had a Studio Live console in my studio. It was a 24 channel. And now I have way more auxiliaries, and there's just a lot more cool stuff. So I want to keep it up to date, but I wanted people to know how to update the firmware. So once you've connected, so you can either be connected through a USB cable, which is slower for the update, or you can be connected through the network. Now you'd have to have internet if you want to download this, so keep that in mind. So if you're going to use this console out somewhere and you don't have internet, then you're going to be networked together. But unless you've already downloaded the update on your PC, you're not going to be able to update this. So all you have to do from this screen is you go up to this little system wheel here on the top right, and down here on the bottom is where it tells you what your firmware is. So right now I have 2.7.0.92826, and then it says check for firmware update. And there it is. Installed version, new version is 2.7.2.97735. So there is a new update. We're not going to connect to that there. I'm going to see if I can get this other view to work. Where is it at? Sometimes I cannot find my macros when I want them. Desktop, me, and a laptop. Maybe this is it. There you go. So we will change apps here, and I'll use this camera, turn this light on. Gives me a little bit more light. Move my microphone over and open up the app. So here is the app on my iPad. So you're looking at my iPad on the bottom and the software on the right. Should look at this camera. And so all you have to do is the same thing. You can see on the bottom left, it tells you the version. And so you could click on it here and update as well. Here's the main software. I'm going to update from my PC. But again, this software gives you complete control on an iPad. And so I can go into the equalizer. I can go into my effects. I can change the different effects if I wanted to. I can go back to my main screen. I can go into all of the routing and all of that. So there's lots of things here. Not going to spend a ton of time on that tonight, but I wanted you guys to see that. So we're going to go ahead and click on the desktop software. Let's close this screen, that screen. So I have my network settings, backup, plugins, all of that stuff from the screen. So I'm going to update from the software right now. So let's go ahead and hit check for firmware update again. It says yes. And then let's switch back to this other look. Let me let my mix effects reconnect. Give it a second. I want you guys to see the console with the other view as we hit this update. Go down to my macros. There we go. So now let me hit yes. And it is downloading. And you can see the screen right here. So it's going to go through the update, and we're just going to hang out while that takes place. Let me go into the chat here. Joe asked me in the chat if I have used the auto mix feature yet, and I haven't. So you can see the console over my shoulder going through the update. And let me see if I can zoom into that right now. And we'll move the camera over just a little bit. And back out just a touch. So it's going to go crazy here in a second. What scared the living daylights out of me the first time I updated. But this is what it does. So evidently this is a calibration process that it does after it does a firmware update. And so we're just going to let it go through its paces, because the last thing in the world you want to do right now is stop it. But this is how easy it is nowadays with having things network, to network and being able to do all the things that you can do now with apps and firmware, software, downloading it. But I thought this is cool. That's why I wanted to share it tonight. So faders are being calibrated. Now they're going to go down into their normal place eventually. There they go. And I think it is officially updated. So not that difficult. There's not a lot of videos online on how to do it. So I'm ISO recording tonight. So I'm not ISO recording. So too late. So I will have to do a video on this the next time there's a firmware update. But I wanted to do this live, and obviously people can watch the update live. But so we'll go back in here. So let's go back to me and my laptop. So we'll go back in here. Close that. Double click on the console. And see, now I've got the software back open again. And I don't need this open. I'll minimize it so I can increase this window. And there's a look at, if you're using your PC, what you'd have in front of you. And I really like what Presonus has done. Again, I'm very familiar with it because I used it back in the day when I was in my recording studio. Obviously, back in those days, I didn't use the preamps because they weren't near as nice as the preamps now. But the preamps are amazing on this board. Again, that's only one sound. So if you want a different type sound with your preamps, there is a lot of outboard gear that you can get that's more analog based. But in reality, the preamps that you can get in these consoles now are pretty amazing. And I think the Studio Live 3 consoles, and this is the 32SC, they make bigger consoles with more faders. But with iPads and the ability to control things and be mobile, you don't have to be back at the soundboard all the time. You can go front of house using your iPad. And again, you have this app right here, and then you have the iPad app. So your laptop, and I'll probably always have a laptop when I'm out on location. For a number of reasons, I can play music from it into the Studio Live 32SC, and I can walk around with my iPad, and so I could have someone helping me mix it front of house and someone helping me mix it in the back of the house. And so if you want to know more about the Studio Live 32SC console, if you go back a few weeks, I'll put some links later tonight in here. So come back tomorrow and I'll put some links to the other videos that I did. I unboxed it live. I unboxed the monitors that I bought, the speakers that I bought. I showed you guys the covers my mother-in-law made for me, which was a great project to do together with her. I still need to buy a sub, and I'm shopping right now to look at what sub I want to get. And I know I probably need 2 subs, but I'm going to start with one. I'm definitely going to start with an 18-inch sub. I want something light enough with wheels that I can put in my SUV. And so I've got to put everything in my car, do some measurements, and then go back down to my local music store and do some sound checking on some of the subwoofers they have down here. So again, I'm not going to really go through the software tonight. I do want to do some videos on this in the future. I want to spend some time live on this in the future. But tonight we kind of have 2 parts. But before I go, I do want to pop over here to me in a logo and put the chat on the air. And if you, oh, that's not the chat. This is the chat. If you guys have any questions, now is the time. Weird must be the camera. Joe, that's talking about my main camera right here earlier. Shannon and I have been talking about a trip, kind of debating on where we're going to go. I get to plan it, I guess. So we have some dates set. I don't have those dates in front of me tonight, but I will share those in the future. We have 2 trips planned, and we're trying to work out exactly where we want to go, when we want to go there. So we'll see how that works out, but that would be really cool to come out to the East Coast, and maybe we could have a gathering at B&H, or we can go together. We'll see how that plays out. And I answered that. I have not used the auto mix on the Studio Live at all. I really haven't touched the Studio Live now for winter. Now that we're getting ready to go to spring, I'm going to be outside doing some live events again. That's why I'm updating it. I plan on doing quite a bit of work on the Studio Live this next week. I may even do a video, may do a couple shorts. I haven't decided yet. And again, guys, I could build my channel faster if I use these same things I'm doing live as shorts. I have footage from some of the times where I've recorded ISOs, but I really want to do this stuff live so people can join me. They can come back and watch the videos. I get more viewing hours if I do it live. I don't necessarily get more views. And I'm not sure exactly how shorts are going to pay long term. I did 8 shorts on my Foldio 360 and my Foldio 3. And one of them is over 1,000 views. The rest of them have like 8 to 25. I did those every single day. Maybe that was my mistake, but I'm just experimenting right now. And those are all under a minute, so no big deal. The board dances like that because it just does that after it's been updated. So once the firmware has been installed, then it goes through a calibration, and that's what you were seeing. I'm not sure what forget ventriloquism means. I'm hysterically laughing, probably at the crazy setup of the Studio Live 32 doing all the fader flying it does. David says, laugh out loud. Those faders were near violent. Yeah, you don't want to be anywhere near them. I heard auto mix works really well if you have a panel discussion. Yeah, well, maybe just to clarify, Joe has a company now and he does live streaming, live production, podcasting. He has what board do you have? QSC, I think. Anyway, I think it's a QSC. That board's quite a bit more money, and so I went with a $2,000 board so I could use the other money for other things. And again, I had some familiarity with the Studio Live 32. I definitely want to rack mount it if I can, or case mount it. And there's limited cases still out there for it. So we'll see how I can do. But that 32 SC can be rack mounted. And that's why I got it, because that's something I could throw in there and a lot of other things, and then stick it in the back of my SUV and be set up a lot faster. Those of you that do mobile stuff know that the more things that are already routed and hooked up, the better off you are. So it'd be really cool for me to have a big rack that I can use next to a table, and then be able to just pull a snake out of the back of it if I needed to, and also pull out all of the wireless microphones, though I'm torn if I'm going to have them back a house or if they're going to have them in front of a house. We'll see. So, okay. It's an SQ. Yeah, Allen and Heath SQ5, which is a great board. And to be honest with you, that doesn't get used that much as I'd like. Should do some vids on it. Yeah, Joe, you should. That would be cool. So that was the one I really wanted, but when I looked at my budget and looked what was available, I felt like the Studio Live 32 SC would be more than enough board for me. So 32 channels. So good choice. So any other questions about the Studio Live console? Because we're going to switch over to talk about the firmware update from Elgato tonight, and I'm going to have the Facecam on tonight. I'm going to show you a app that you can use with the Elgato Camera Hub software, so I can actually use my phone. My phone actually has most of the features that are available in the Facecam Pro, and you're going to be able to see that tonight, as well as I'll fire up the Facecam. Again, it doesn't have as many features, doesn't have any focusing in it. It's not 4K. In reality, I don't think so. It's 4K. Don't remember. I'm not going to move it, so we'll look up the specs here tonight. So any other questions on the Studio Live console before we move on? On the software, hopefully I can answer them, because Joe already asked me one about using their live mixing software, and I haven't used it. I did read a short blog on it a few months ago, but haven't had a chance to dive into some of the videos that are available online to learn more. Now, I do have the weather in the background. Let's see. It is 46 degrees at 7:28 p.m. I don't know why that TV says 7:28 p.m. But I've had some weird things go on in my studio. It's 4:30, so somehow that TV is showing me Central Time, which is really bizarre. But so I put the weather up there so you guys can see what kind of temperature it is here in the Tri-Cities, Richland, Washington. Okay. Just waiting for a few seconds for some questions. Just got ice water tonight. I'm thinking you mean, Joe, like a stage snake, like being able to network from the Studio Live 32SC to the stage and then have a network box up there. And no, what you can do with, and I don't have it in here, it's out in the garage, rack mounted, but I don't have the my stage box in the studio, but it networks. I do have a network cable that will run 50 feet, and then I have another one, I think it's 30 feet, and I can link those together. And then from each of those boxes, now I only have one stage box, so I want to get a 8-channel and 8 auxiliary out box that Presonus sells, and I'll be able to daisy chain, so I'll be able to go to my 16-channel stage box, and then over to my 8-channel stage box. And then some of the channels on the back of the console, they're all there. I mean, it has plenty of different choices. Let's see if I have that view available. Let me turn chat off the air real quick. Do I dare open up Skycam? It didn't lock up. So let's see. There we go. Do a little transition here, and then let's do this. Let's do... What am I looking here? Skycam on, and then I'm just going to move this box over so it's not in my face. Only because I can. So you can see the back of that, and just for kicks and giggles for a second, we will go full screen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there it is, full screen. And then I'll just change this to me right now in this little deal. So you can see up there the different hookups, and so lots of things you can do directly from the console. When we did the tent event in Connell and I read sound, that's the first time that I've done sound live in many years, and definitely stressed me to the very limit. Anxiety pretty high, but again, I did it because I wanted to be stretched. I had a stage snake that plugged into the back of this, so it wasn't like a digital snake. I took a stage snake all the way up there, and then used my my digital snake for monitors and speakers and things like that. So anyway, gave me the ability to have all the channels I needed to have on the stage. The snake was a 16-channel. I think it had 8 auxiliaries. And so if I remember right, I think I had 8 coming from the back of the Studio Live 32 auxiliaries. And then I had 8 more that I was using on the platform, 3 monitors, and then they brought a couple other monitors, so that's 5, and then I had 2 speakers. And if I remember right, I think I EQ'd the subs separately, or did we loop them? I don't remember. Usually you can go through subs up to your main speakers, and typically you have a choice to either use the sub for the low frequencies. It's called a low cut, not a low cut, it's called a crossover. And sometimes speakers have the ability to change where the crossover is. And all that means is that it separates out the, let's say this side's the low frequencies, this side's the high frequencies. It'll separate out the low frequencies for just the subwoofer. And then it'll leave all the high frequencies to really let the main speakers breathe. And then that crossover kind of lets you know where you want it to be. So five monitors on the front stage, no in ears. Though I do believe the drummer had a headset that we plugged in, so he was just using headphones, and so I set that up for him. I also had to have pads on the stage. If you don't know what pads are, that's so maybe a keyboardist usually. Sometimes it's the solo or the main singer or one of the backup singers. They're going to hit pads with their songs or during the breaks so that there's music playing. So a lot of times they might have the keyboard hold a note and just play kind of some notes as they're changing music and changing all the things they do on the stage. And then they'll turn that pad off and go right into the next song so you don't have that silence. Or after, like at a tent event, after the event's over, some artists have these pads played so they don't have to get up on the stage and play. So if you just need music as people are coming and going, then they might just use one of their pads, and then I don't have to provide the music in the back. So that's the back end right there of the Studio Live console. That's using my Skycam at the back of the room. So I can fly that around the room right now. Back of the console, me and the BenQ monitor, my little setup back there. Again, me and the BenQ closer, and the bat cape on the back of my chair. So there's lots to learn about this console. I can't believe how in-depth they really are, but they are. So there you have it. So now we'll go back to me and my laptop. And what I'm going to do now is I am going to, let's see, let's close this. And let's open up Camera Hub. So right now I do have my Facecam hooked up. So up on the software, it opens up like this, and then you can hit this little arrow to the top, and you can see you have a choice between your camera, that would be Facecam Pro or Facecam. If you have a Facecam Pro, some things change down here, and I'm going to show you that by hooking up my phone with the Epoc Cam app that you can download. I'll do that here in a second. But right now we have selected the Facecam. I don't have the prompter plugged in, but we're going to plug that in here in a second. I'm going to unplug my Facecam and plug the prompter, and we're going to do that as the second half. But we're going to start with the firmware update. So let me add to the screen now. So this is the beta page, and I've included a link to this in the description below. So if you have a prompter by Elgato or a Facecam and you want to play around with the beta, I gave you the link. It's elgato.com/us/english/s/beta. And so that is in the description. And then the other page where they show what their most recent regular update, it is 1.8. I believe this is 1.8, or that's the beta. We'll come back to that. What happened to my page here? Okay, here we go. I don't know what happened to it. So here is the 1.8 release, which is their most recent release, and that would be if you're not using the beta. So if we open this up, you can see a list of what's happening in the beta. In Windows, Camera Hub 1.8 is the link. And then there's a Mac package there you can download. But so the prompter by popular request, we've adjusted the maximum scroll speed of the text to be even faster, up to 2 times faster. So that's available now in the regular firmware update. and I'll show you where you find that on your prompter. And then they added a spacing and vertical margin options for the text mode. And you can see they're touching it right there with their mouse. Added additional status messages to chat mode so that you'll know if prompter is successfully connected. So it's just a status message in the chat mode, and the chat mode is one of the areas that you can go to. I'm not using it for chat. It's only have one option for chat, and that's Twitch, and you can see what it looks down here. They've made some changes to that. Twitch chat now displays badges next to usernames, and I don't use Twitch, so but gamers do all the time, and obviously Elgato sells a lot of their products to gamers. They even have their new cards to render video now at 4K, 60 frames per second, and those are pretty amazing. So we'll go down here. They added support for 7 TV emotes, performance improvements, general performance improvement, multiple options to fix jitter and flickering video when using Elgato virtual camera windows. Fixed a bug preventing Camera Hub updates from completing in Mac OS. Never had that problem, but I'm not using any Macs in the studio. And then prompter, improved handling when connecting prompter. White Camera Hub is already running, or Y Camera Hub is already running. So if you have Camera Hub open, they were having some issues before. I saw that issue here in the studio. They fixed that with that version. The minimum brightness of the prompter has been adjusted to 30% Mac OS, so that was an issue with Macs. Fixed a bug where prompter appeared black after restarting Camera Hub. That happened to me many times. I'd have to click away from it into the text section and then back to prompter mode or to display mode and vice versa. That's it. So now, if you go to the beta, let's see, where's the beta page? I'm losing track of all my pages here. Here's the 1.9. Now, 1.9, when Hank reached out to me and I watched the video and then I decided to come back in the studio and download it, some of the things that this gentleman, and I'll find that video and I'll put it in the link, so you guys can watch it if you want to, but he went through all the changes, and one of the things that's updated in the version 1.9 is to be able to have a place to turn on the prompter and off the prompter. I've had to unplug it every time I wanted to turn it off. Now there is an actual on and off, so I can shut my camera off, then I can just turn the prompter off, but literally I was unplugging it, having to take it off and put it away, because I wanted to use the camera behind it and the prompter was off. So again, lots of little features changing in here. I'm going to cover them, and then I'm going to show you the influence on the cam, on the Facecam, and on the Epoc app on my phone, which will mimic a Facecam Pro, basically. So firmware for Facecam Pro, the latest firmware for Facecam Pro brings new features to improve your Facecam Pro quality and experience. Tint control, auto white balance lock, improved settings being saved, improved camera usage, detecting on windows, accurately detects active camera use. Proper adjustable crosshair overlays. So now we'll look at that. I can actually put a crosshair and 3 different versions of it, change the colors. I can put that in the center of where my camera is behind the prompter. So when I'm using the prompter, which I'm not tonight, it's here on the desk. I will be hooking it up here on this camera here in a minute. But I can put a little, what is it called? A overlay, different types of overlay right in the center, so I know exactly where center of camera is, because you're looking through a prompter about this big, and so that little mark will let you know, and that will go behind your text as you're reading it in the prompter mode. So you can upload icons and personalize the color and placement, so you can upload your own icon to it, which is really cool. Alongside the crosshair overlay, thanks to your feedback, we have some new quality of life features drag and drop chapters, recognize your script effortlessly with drag and drop functionality, auto loop settings, continually cycles in auto scroll mode. Now, some of these are buggy still as I've played with them, but I do have the beta tonight. Automate chapters, divisions, scripts passed from the clipboard are now automatically organized into chapters and link in line breaks. And I've seen that when you go to copy and paste something in, it automatically changes the line breaks to chapters. It's not a feature I like. I hope there's a place I can turn that off. I haven't figured that out yet tonight. Let's see. Resize text, adjust the text size in the editor to suit your reading preferences. I think you've always been able to resize text, but now there's some margin changes that are available. And then Twitch chat improvements, enhanced channel validation, ensure your Twitch channel is connected, and direct navigation, access your Twitch channel directly from the camera hub. And then performance improvements, and those are UI improvements, easily view your software version, firmware version, and serial number. So that's what they're saying they changed. So let's get out of this and into this. So let me take my phone and unplug it. And I'm going to go close QMix. And so I have the app open right now, and this is Epoc Cam Pro. And so it's going to use my phone as a wireless access to just see some action going on in the chat here. Come back to those, Joe, in a minute. Stay focused on this. So this is linking right now wirelessly to my app. And so right now you can see the Facecam. I'll show you what it looks like. So there's the Facecam. It is on right now, right there. And these are all the adjustments for the Facecam. So if you take a look at that, you're going to see some new features come in here. So you can zoom in and out, and that's all you can do. So I can zoom in and out, but I can't change where on the screen I'm zooming into or do any presets. I have contrast, I have saturation, sharpness, exposure. I don't have it on automatic, but it can go automatic. I set it to 1/60th of a second and ISO 100. So I've manually set it. I like the picture. And I adjusted the temperature settings because it was defaulting to 44 Kelvin, and I like 41 to 42 here in the studio. And then you have the noise reduction, which I can turn on and off. And then I can add 50 hertz or 60 hertz, so nothing's twickering in the background or whatever you call it. So now watch what happens when I go up here and choose the Epoc Cam Pro on my iPhone. There you go. I can be landscape or I can be portrait. So we're going to set this up right now on the Studio Live 32SC. That's pretty good. Now, I do have the software open, which is the whole point, because I want you guys to see that. It's good enough. Now, if you look at the software now very closely, you're going to see that I now have this panel open down here. So it's quite a bit different. So I have bitrate selections. I have this lens section. So there's all kinds of different features I can do here. Some of them I think only apply to the Facecam Pro, but I can change the filters on this. So I just changed this filter to sepia, clear lens, disable all of them. Here's a few of them. Background blur. That blurred everything. And again, most of these are probably adjustable. I have to focus on the lens and all that. But what I really wanted to show you is that this app is available and my phone is completely wireless now. So, and then I can use this as a webcam inside OBS, so I could now use my iPhone. Now I like to just tether my iPhone in like I did my iPad tonight, which I could tether my iPhone in tonight. But in reality, I think this little app for your smartphone is pretty cool, called Epoc Cam Live. And I think I have that page open right here. So here's the page. I will copy this link into the chat here. Let me come back to this look here in a second. Sorry, doing a little work here on the stream. And then let me paste this in to the chat. So there you go. It's in the links below in my live stream. So you can go back and get that. And then it's in the chat tonight. So let me go back to this page. So there you have it. So you have these choices. You can turn your flash on. I guess that's for your camera. I can just zoom in. So I have front. So I want to use the front of that camera. There you go. You have my ceiling. If I want to use the back, and then I have the ability to go 3 times. This will probably change depending on what phone you have. And 0.5 super wide. Let's go back to 1 times. And then as you come past those lens options, now you have the ability to zoom in and out. So you could zoom in and out. But the coolest thing about this zoom in and out is I can grab this box right here and choose where I want it to go. And then I can also hold down A, B, C, and D. And after I hold them down for a few seconds, so let's just see what they are right now. A is that location. B is that location. And again, the Facecam Pro does the same thing. There you go, over to the fat channel. There you go to the play button and return button, because you can actually use this to control your Studio One software, which is really cool. Plus, you could play the track inside the SD card inside the deal. So again, there's the different locations. So we'll program one right now. So we're going to zoom out, go down to the faders, zoom out a little bit further based on the shot I have right here. And I could just hold down A now, and it gives you a down arrow to let you know that you've saved that location. So there's B and back to A. And then if I want to start at farther away, then I can still do the same thing. I can zoom in. So if I wanted to just show you the fader, the master fader in this shot, then I could hold down B. Now I'll hit A. I'll hit B. And you'll have to choose what lens you're using. Then I'll shoot do C, and these aren't working right now because they were programmed from one point out. So that's Epoc Cam Pro, and I'm using my Facecam as well. So I have my Facecam here, so I can get out of Epoch Cam Live and go back to my Elgato Facecam. Takes about this much time to switch cameras. And then again, with this one, everything's going to go away after a few seconds. And now these are all the controls I have. So I'm not sure I'll ever get a Facecam Pro because I can use my iPhone as a Facecam Pro if I ever need to. So pretty interesting. So then you have the effects screen, and I don't have this set up. I can mirror things. I can flip it. But I don't have this working right now. This works through my NVIDIA card and gives you the ability to do the same thing you can do in Zoom, where you can blur the background. If I had a green screen behind me, it would work even better. And so all those effects are just the same as you find built into Zoom. And then there's an eye contact deal, and that must find your eye when you are using these effects, and I have not played with that. Again, the NVIDIA cards are getting more and more AI built into them, more things that they can do, and that's why they're adding more and more features, and then some of those features are being brought in specifically to software designed for gamers. And in reality, the Elgato company, a lot of it has been specifically for gamers, and now there's live streamers. And so now they're appealing to both gamers and live streamers and people who do home meetings, conference calls, businesses that link up. And so pretty cool. So that is all the things that I can see going on in the beta. All of those updates that they were talking about would most likely apply to both the Epoch Cam and your Facecam Pro. So you can see down here you have brightness, contrast, saturation, exposure on the bottom. Let's hit full screen. Can I scroll down? Yeah. Scroll down. I have exposure down here. Here's the white balance that they were talking about. Exposure's right here. The brightness, all that. Focus is right here. I can go autofocus, or I can go manual. And again, on Epoch Cam, you have focus. You don't have the ability to focus manually when you're using the Facecam, only in the Facecam Pro and the Epoch Cam Pro Live. So I think there's the Epoch regular version with less features, and then you have to pay for the Pro version, and I paid for the Pro version a few weeks ago when I was playing around with things. So now we're going to go back. Well, first of all, let me see if there's any questions specifically about this. Chat on the air. Let's change that now to chat. And let's see here. What effects processor does it have? Let me go back here. Chat on. What's the deal here? Chat on. Okay. What effects processor does it have? I'm assuming you're talking about my PC. Or are you talking about the Studio Live console? It has 4 different banks of effects that you can assign to all the channels or to one of the channels, but you have a maximum of 4 effects. You can stack them as well on channels. And then occasionally Studio Live gives you the ability to download some other stuff. So if you're hooked up to a PC, there's even more effects that you can use from your PC. So you can loop from it. And then there's some effects that actually transfer into the Studio Live 32SC and let you use them right there. So, no, I don't have any DIY boxes. I sold them all. And the stage box lets me be able to use the stage box, so they have Neutrik connections for all of the inputs, and so I can just go directly in with the keyboard, and that's exactly what I've done before. When we were at the tent event, my buddy Drew has sound equipment as well. It's all Mackie stuff, so we used his subwoofers and then my Yamaha speakers, and we also used his Mackie speakers as fill on the edges, used my Yamahas for the center of the room because they sound better, and then we also used his direct boxes. He has 5 direct boxes, and so that's what I was using on the stage. I will have to add some direct boxes. How do you get integrated the Elgato Facecam Pro with USB output into the Blackmagic Mini Extreme? So how do you integrate the Elgato Facecam Pro with the USB output into the Blackmagic Mini Extreme? So all I'm doing, Hank, is I'm using my PC. So let me clear this. So let me just switch to my PC. So my laptop and my PC come into my Extreme ISO. And so everything that I can run, like the prompter as well as the Facecam Pro, like right now I'm just showing you the software. If I wanted to bring the Facecam Pro into my live stream, then I would use one of my keys, and then I have to have it as an input. So it's a little complicated, but let me just show you this first. Here's my PC, which is blank right now. Why is it blank? PC, chat off the air. Yeah. So let me delete this. Full screen. Go right here. I can't see it. So let's see. That is channel. I went dark. Weird. That is channel 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So let me close that. There we go. Let's go back to multi-view. Let me figure out how that happened halfway. So now this is my PC. So I'm actually taking OBS, and I don't have the screen shared, but I'm actually taking OBS and I'm using OBS with the Facecam or my Skycams. So they become a webcam in OBS, and then OBS has a feature where you can full screen it to any one of the monitors that you have hooked up to your PC or your laptop. So my Skycam, let me full screen it again to my Blackmagic Design input. So that input now is displaying whatever I have on program in my OBS is now displaying full screen. And I'll set up an actual demo of this one of the nights. It's not set up tonight. So if I go back to one of my cameras and then bring that on the air now, this is back to my PC. Now I'm showing you my Instant 360 camera. It's coming through OBS. I've made it the live image in OBS, so it is the program scene source. And then I can right-click in that window, and it will become full screen. So I hope that answers your question. A better way to answer that, Hank, is, let's see. Do I dare try to open OBS in the middle of being live? Okay, so let me just change screens here. I mean, a laptop. So this is OBS right there, opened up. And so if I had a webcam hooked up to it, you can see right here under my source, I do have an Instant 360. It is not hooked up to this camera right now. But I do have my laptop available camera. So if I switch this to my cheesy laptop camera, click OK, and see if I can get this to display. Sometimes I have to reboot OBS, so I'm not going to do that tonight. But anyway, I changed my Insta360 to my webcam. It's on right now, but for some reason, it's not displaying in OBS. But I'll just use this still image as an example. If I right-click right here in the still image, so let's say I didn't want that still image live. Let's make this live. There's nothing there but a question mark. It's my countdown timer. So that's my countdown timer I use. So if I make my background image, if I turn it off and hit transition, now there's nothing in the right-hand window. So if I was streaming live right now, all you would see is my countdown clock. So if I go up here, I can turn my countdown clock off and then transition over. Now there's no countdown clock. So whatever I make live here, if it's a webcam or if it's my Blackmagic design, ATEM coming in here, which I have unplugged tonight because I have my Facecam plugged into the same outlet I plugged my ATEM Extreme ISO into my laptop. So if I go back down here to background, and this is exactly how I build my intro video. Now I hit transition. This side right here is now going to be live if I was streaming. Now I'm not streaming, I'm just using this. So if I right click on this program recording outro, it gives me the ability to go full screen. So I can go full screen into the Blackmagic HDMI, which means that that's going to then send that image full screen to my laptop page. So I'm going to hit that. And now that image is where my laptop would be in my ATEM Extreme. So there's that image, and there's me coming back. And if I want that image to go away, I literally have to go up into my multi-view with my mouse. And sometimes it's impossible for me to find it. There, I found it. Right click, and then I have to go into my matrix and make it full screen because the little box is so tiny on my multi-view. So I will make full screen input 6, no, input 7. Is it input 7? Yeah, it is. And then close that window, go back to multi-view, and now if I transition back to my laptop, it's back to the desktop image. So in a nutshell, that's how you take web cameras, and the way I get them into the ATEM Mini. You can also buy an adapter. I know that Ozbot sells an adapter that goes from USB-C to HDMI on their website, and I don't own any of those. Then you could plug your camera into that. But the problem with that is I use computer software to move those cameras around the screen, and you would lose control of that, where the Ozbot has a remote control that you can get with it. Now, I believe that the Insta360 Link is a better camera. It's got a better chip in it, but there is a new Ozbot Mini 2, I believe, that actually has a little micro HDMI out. And they have reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to do a review. And at this point, I'm just not ready to set up those type relationships and have all the things I need to have, disclosures on my website and on my channel and all the things that I need to do. So I'm holding off on doing some of those. Now, if I buy something, I will show it here live in the stream. So I hope that helps answer your question. Let me put chat back on the air over here. Transition, and is this full screen? Yes. And let's put chat back on the air. So, you know what would be fun to do, an audio comparison between the RCP2 and the Studio Live with the SM7B. Yeah, I have that on my list that I want to do. So I have to fire both of those up, plug them. I don't know exactly how I would put them live. That's what I got to sort out because I got to bring both of those 1/4-inch signals into the ATEM Mini. I guess I could do that through channel 1 and channel 2. So I guess that's not going to be that complicated. So that would be pretty easy to do. But you still would hear the preamps inside the ATEM Mini, which makes a major difference. And if you haven't heard the difference of the SM7B just from the Rodecaster Pro recorded internally, as well as hearing it last week on my live, actually it was Wednesday on my live stream where I demoed the SM7B and the Rode Pod Mic and my NTG3, which is right above my head. I've moved it a little closer. I still can sheet about 3 more inches, but flickering laugh out loud, of course, someone would laugh at that. I mean, it can be twitched too, so maybe twickering or twickering also works. Okay, cool. Can you change the text and color above each channel on Studio Live? I believe so. I haven't played much with that, but you can definitely, the text on the little scribble strips, I believe, yeah, you can change those. You can name each deal. You can change the colors on the Studio Live console. There's that link that I told you guys about. My favorite tech, good to have you in tonight's live stream. Appreciate it. Chat is looking pretty Presonus now, laugh out loud. I don't think my stage box has 1/4 inch. Yeah, Neutrix. So one of the things I did research on is that I didn't want to buy stage boxes. That's why I want to have the other 8-channel in, 8-channel out on the other side of the stage, so I could have 16. Some of those are there. Well, I'd have 16 plus 8. That's, you know, easy math. And I'll have Neutrix connections on every one of those, which is great. Also have Neutrix connections on the monitors out, but not many on the back, not as many Neutrix on the back of the board. In fact, some of the auxiliary outs are 1/4 inch on the back of the board. They're not XLR, but all of the stage boxes that Presonus makes have XLR Neutrix connections for both outputs and inputs. So if you want to use a 1/4 inch jack cord to go to your monitors, you can, or you can go XLR to modern monitors that have XLR inputs, obviously. Wow, what picture is that of you? I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, the picture that popped up on the screen, that is a old picture I used as a desktop of me at a vineyard here locally that I took for an old podcast I had. My journey did begin at that moment. No, my journey began in 1961 in Pullman, Washington. I won't tell you what date that was. Do you have a deck link out or not yet? No, I do not have a deck link. I'm thinking about it though, but I can't do, so far I cannot do ISO, Zoom ISO. It's only available on a Mac, and that's really what's kept me from buying a deck link card. My PC has a slot. It's an i9 processor. It's got 32 gigs of RAM. It's got plenty of power and PCU ability to run a DeckLink Duo card out of it. That would be four outputs, or it could be inputs and outputs depending on how you select them. I know that Joe, I think, has one now. I think Tony has one now. I know Adam Tal has one now. So lots of guys have those. TVJ, you just gave me an idea to try. Use FFmpeg to convert a USB camera into a DeckLink output. Cool. Let me know, or let us know if that works. Okay. Let's unplug the Facecam and let's grab the prompter here. I just unplugged it for the intro reel. I have another item that was in the box that Joe sent me, a little mini Manfrotto tripod. Thank you, Joe. That's come in handy since I bought my Elgato prompter, because it doesn't really sit flat, and if you plug the cable in, the cable is on a L. So I'm going to actually hook this up to camera 2. Or actually, this is camera 3. Oh, the camera is almost too far away. Come on, you can do this, Keith. It's not that complicated. Cool. I needed that encouragement. Check this camera real quick. Way too close. Oh. Take the other part of the cable, plug it into the side of my PC. And it is now coming on. I still can use this, which I'm going to. So let's go into the Camera Hub software again. And let's do this. So there is the prompter mounted on there, and I am going to make some changes to the software right now. See, right now I am on the Epoc Cam Pro. I'm going to go over to prompter now, and you can see it defaulted over to teleprompter mode. But one of the things I want you to see, and you won't be able to see this now. How can I show you this? Let me just go through the features ahead of time here. So now you have the ability to power the prompter on and off. So, and I can't use this. That's the downside of it. I can't show you it on the screen because I've closed that app. If I go back to the camera app, this is going to pop back up here in a second, hopefully. Epoch Cam, are you coming? Nope. So I'll have to reopen the app. So, but you can see the software, and let me take you through some of the changes. You now have the ability to power it on and off, and I'll hit this. My prompter will go off. It should go off. It worked before. It took a few seconds. Maybe because oh, there it went. Power on, power off, power on. So it's coming on and off. Then you have the brightness settings, so you can make it brighter, contrast settings. You can display. So I'm in display mode now. You can do text. I'm in text mode now. And I think I have a Skycam that will show you this. So let me find it here real quick. Not that one. It's this one. And let me go in here and change cameras. There we go. Okay. So let me minimize this, and let's get this on the air. How can I do that here? Let's try. Can I do it like this? What happened to that picture? Oh. Much better. So where I have that in that box, let's go to Super Source, box 3. No. Box 2. What did I do? Streaming bridge is coming in. I want, oh, let's see, transition this. Let's try this. Let's leave it like this, mean a laptop, and let's do this. So that one or this one? There we go. So. Why is that full screen? It shouldn't be full screen. So what is going on here? Why can't we get things working tonight? So let's see. I want that image. We go into multi-view. That image is the PC desktop. So now I know what I'm doing. Box 3 is going to be on. And box 2, I'm going to size down. Move it up. Needs to be about 48, 49. Box 3 is going to be my PC desktop. And we will position this right there. 48, position this right there. And box 1 right there. And we're going to zoom in. And then I'm going to change box 1 to that camera. Is that going to work? Just back over. There we go. Okay. Sorry about all the craziness, but this is the better camera. You now have an older shoulder shot. Let's see if I can bring this in a little tighter. Yes, I'm doing all this live, so should get some bonus points. I have multiple web cameras, multiple PC, a laptop, all of them bringing in the super source, all live. So now you can kind of see the prompter. So I just want to cover a couple things. So on and off right here. So I'll turn it off again. You can see it going off on the screen. Brightness right here. Bring the brightness up and down. Contrast, can bring the contrast up and down like crazy. I can go from display mode, and I could drag something over there because it's a monitor now, and that's how I can put chat on there. I can put Zoom on there. I'm not going to display that tonight. Here's the chat beta, which I don't use, and you can't even see it when you click on chat beta. But under display, one of the cool things now that's available under text is you can come down here. Where is it at? Overlays. I can turn overlays on now. And I'm going to increase the brightness of this, make it a pure white. And let's do, how about if I play that? Now you can see that little target on there, and I can move that target around right here, and I can download things. So that's in the center of my lens right now. So now if I'm looking at my prompter and I want to talk to the audience, I know exactly where to look. Now, if you don't want it that bright, because when you play the text over it, let's play some text over it. You can see it makes it hard to see the text. So what I did is I changed the color to like a light gray. And now it's behind there. I can still see it, but there's a light gray back there. You guys should be able to see it. It's going to show up right there. And if I want a circle, I can do a circle. If I want a different effect there, I can do a different effect. So let's do this again. So there you can see that. I'm going to go back to a very bright color. Let's just do red so everybody can see it. So there you have a red marker on there. Actually, white shows up better on camera. So there's white. So I can also add in something, an icon from my computer. Now I don't have anything ready, but I could go down here to my travel drive and go down here to logos. And then under logos, I have web branding folder, I think. Nope, it's not that one. Wix branding, standard files, social media. Here we go. So let's go down here to one of these. No matches. So it has to be an SVG file. So I don't have anything saved right now in SCV files, but that marker lets me know right where to look on the prompter. So I love the idea that they've added this marker. And if I had something saved as a .svg, then I would be able to add it to these. But these are the choices right now. You have the circle, you have the square, and you have the snap is what it's called. And again, you can move them anywhere around the screen. And you can look through the prompter and see your lens and set it right in the middle of the lens. So now you have something to focus on, which I think is really cool. So now some other things that they added, which are worthy to discuss, is they have the margins now that you can change. You have a speak to text, which I have not been able to get to work in my studio, but you hit the little icon on the bottom right, and then your initializing text comes up here. It's listening, but it's not recording anything right now. And I think it's because I have my microphone on my laptop turned off. So let me go in here. My microphone. Can I just change it down here under audio settings? Nope. I have to go under microphone settings. And I don't ever use this microphone. So do I have to turn it on? Voice recording? Maybe. Do I dare turn that on? Could be that. If anybody knows, let me know in the chat what setting. Radso is doing great, Tony. Joe. He's just happy as can be. Now this I've been putting on the top of my prompter for a better light on me. Then I also have a confidence monitor down here that I can put on top as well, but I have a bracket to mount this upside down and reversed it, and I will be able to use this. Sorry, I keep looking at my main camera, but I'll be able to use this mounted underneath the prompter just so I can see what the program is, and I'm looking at the right thing. Right now, I just have it laying on my desk. So let's try this. Take a test, voice recorder. Let me minimize this. Let me try this now. Got a chapter ready down here, lit up. I am dictating right now. Let's see, tip. Dictation isn't fully supported in this app. What does that mean? Dictation isn't fully supported in this app. So let's close that. Let's go up to settings. Do I have to turn it on? Nope. But here is where you update. So if you want to update your firmware, you click on the system wheel on the top right. You just click on check for updates. It's going to check my updates. It can tell that I have a newer beta, so it will not replace it with an older version. So I have version 1.9.0.2330, and that's what I'm using. So let's close that. I do not know. Again, this is a beta, so I'm not sure why it's not working, but it's not working. So go figure. It's really hot. that camera is hot right now. Okay. So that feature is in the beta, obviously having the bugs worked out. And so that's on the bottom right. You have the on and off switch. You have the ability to do new things with the fonts. Font size has been there, horizontal margins, vertical margins, line spacing. You can tint, you can hit the background, you can change the opacity of the fonts. Let me go back into teleprompter mode. I am. So let's put one up there. So opacity makes it more transparent, and that shows you the display background, believe it or not. Never seen that before. Okay. You can auto scroll chapters. So if I hit play, we'll speed this up. Scroll speed. There comes my next chapter. So it went right to my next chapter, which is great. You can also auto scroll loop. I haven't been able to get this to do anything. Let's just try a loop. We'll hit play. What I would assume is loop. Pause. Maybe I am getting it to do something. Scroll speed. Play. So let's go fast and see if it loops. I would think this would replay what I'm already on. And I tested it yesterday and it didn't. It's playing my next chapter. So I don't know what auto loop is supposed to do, but I'm still learning. So then you have the new overlay section at the bottom, which is brand new. The auto sort, auto scroll chapters, auto loop feature. And then you have this script section right here, which I haven't played with, but so you can add scripts. So I have not messed with that. And then again, the chat is just in beta right now. So they must still be trying to figure out how to use that feature in the prompter. So that's it for the Elgato prompter, but I do love the fact that you have the ability to put this target in the back. I think it's super useful. When we get this speech, I can actually dictate to it and it'll build me a text prompt, which will be great. I don't have it working yet right now. I got to figure that out, but that's going to be an amazing feature. The fact that you can do more with the margins and the fonts, and the fact that you can have, you know, all these extra little features for margins and all that is just making the prompter better and better. And so we'll see what Elgato continues to do with the prompter, and what they do with Facecam and Facecam Pro and the Epoc Epoc Cam Pro, right? I think it's called. Let me find it here on my phone. Show you guys this app. Epoc Cam. Let me just search for it. Epoc Cam Pro. Let's go to that monitor. And again, it automatically attempts to connect. Right now it's working, it says. So let's go back to camera. But it's not working. So something happened when I unplugged the Facecam, and I probably need to close and open the software again. Let me do that. Let me just go back to me and a logo over here. Still not working. So close that again. Epoch Cam Pro. Says it's connected using Wi-Fi. There it is. Now it's back. Let's go to me and a laptop. So it is back. So I love the fact that you have all of these options with the Epoc Cam app for your iPhone. I wish that I could use it while I'm displaying the prompter, but because it shuts off, I could run my camera Epoch Cam through OBS, and it should be available right now. So let's close it off. Let's turn the eyeball off. Let's shut this window. Let's open up OBS. Let's add a new camera, video capture device. Let's call it Epoch. Add existing. Not there yet. So let's just hit OK. Cancel. Let's close this. Open it back up again. Sometimes OBS is persnickety that way. See Facecam, which is not hot right now. Could it be one of these video capture devices? I've never tried to use Epoch Cam Screen Link. I don't think it's Screen Link. Could it be? Let me go back into, yeah, it should be connecting, but it's not. Because show me right now that it's waiting to be connected. So close this again. Me and a logo. Yeah, it's trying to connect, but it's not. So I'm not sure what's going on. I'm able to use it for sure inside the Facecam app. I haven't tried to bring it into OBS or anything yet. So there is a choice for NDI as well with this Epoch Cam app. I think if I remember right in the settings, I can change bit rates. Yeah, it has an NDI feature. Let me bring this into the live stream here real quick. Me and my iPhone is here somewhere. Landscape. That didn't help. So my iPhone is box 2. What am I in right now? Channel 2. Yeah. So there you go. So you can see I have USB, auto, NDI, low, medium, high bit rate, and screen dimming on or off. And that means that my screen will go dark over time. And right now you can see it's just going crazy. I can turn flash on and off. So you can see my lights coming on and off on my phone right there from the app. In the settings, again, you have all that. I'm on Wi-Fi right now. I can click on auto, but it is literally going crazy right now. Close that back. You got a setup guide, getting started, troubleshooting, and all of that available right there. But for right now, it is just wigging out. This is what the connection screen looks like, but it normally doesn't flash like that. So I'm not really sure what's going on, but I'm going to close that app. But there you go. That's a look at Epoc. What is it called? Epoc Cam, or Epoc Pro, whatever it's called. I can't remember. I have it on the website here. Epoc Cam. There's a shot at that. So it's a little buggy. So get involved at your own risk. We looked at the prompter. We looked at the Studio Live 32SC tonight. We have played with different sky cams in the studio. Actually, I've had 3 webcams at some point fired up tonight, and displayed my iPad, displayed my iPhone, showed you guys my laptop, even talked a little bit about OBS. And the reason right now I can't do a demo of OBS is because my chat comes through the OBS on this computer over here. And so if I want to bring chat on the air, I have it coming in, and should be chat on the air now. And if I hit one of these, I did voice recording on the prompter with mic 1 on my Rodecaster Pro. Okay. Well, something's off on mine, Hank, so it's good that you were able to use that microphone. Hank and I have been kind of playing with this the last few days, so evidently Hank got it working. I will have to try to figure out why it's not working on mine. I'm in my Rodecaster Pro right now on channel 1, but I'm also not sending any audio to my laptop. I'm sending it to my A10 Mini, and maybe that's my problem. I think you should bring on a guest soon live. Never seen a guest on your channel. I had Adam Tao on my channel a couple times, but I should do that. Check out the mic logo on the lower right corner for voice recording. Yeah, I did click on that, and it doesn't work on my PC. I'm sure it works on your PC fine. This is earlier. Do you have a ghost? Yeah. Wait, if not key, why isn't it going crazy? Yeah, I figured out the keys earlier today. It all started with the Studio Live faders. I would agree with that. Just saying, Joe says. David, it was the app. Laugh out loud, yep, those faders. Good to see you, David. I know it's really early in Australia, but thank you for joining me. We've been talking about the Studio Live 32SC, how to update it, showed how you can update it either through the iPad app or you could update it from the laptop, Mac, or PC. And I have it, and we did the firmware update. The faders fly all over the place when it's done doing the firmware update because they're checking their locations and configuring everything to make sure the faders, because they're flying faders, that they work right. So good to have you, David. I think I missed when Adam was on. Yeah, I haven't had any guests since I had Adam on because I bring him through Zoom, and audio is a challenge. And so we tried Video Ninja. I think it's Video, whatever it is called now. David, it's 5:42 p.m. local time. Wow. Okay. Cool. Yeah, don't go by the time on there, because that's not the time. That says it's 8:42, and I don't know what's going on with my TV. Yeah, I asked him to come on, Joe, and he was going to, and then every time I tried to get him to commit to a Tuesday to come over and go live with me. His name is Mark, and he does all the installs here. I'd love to have him on the channel. I need to reach out to him again. I usually go have coffee with him over at his house occasionally. He loves to pour the different pictures or like animals and different things in his coffee. It's really cool. He does coffee art with milk and with the steam milk on it, and he really loves that. So we've talked about macro photography and all that, as well as IT. He actually helped me put together my whole network. So thanks back to you, David. Guys, if you haven't checked out David's channel, get over there and like and subscribe. By the way, speaking of like, if any of this touched you, like the prompter or learning about Epoc Cam and how you can use it in replacement of a Facecam, not working very well, but again, remember, I unplugged my my Facecam in the middle of tonight's live stream, and that's not recommended while the software is on. That's one of the bugs they fixed, unplugging the prompter, but obviously they haven't fixed the bug in Facecam or Facecam Pro if you unplug it. So, so likes tonight would be great. So hit the like button. I haven't looked to see how many likes I have. I'll pull a J here and see if I can see how many likes. I have 8 concurrent viewers and I have 38 views so far. I don't even see where the likes are in this algorithm. Analytics, stream health. I don't ever play with this. Chat rate, views. I guess you have to, oh, there's the likes. 6 likes so far. So anyway, I'd love to get a like from all of you. If you would help me out to drive the algorithm here on Google, that would be incredible. If you don't like what's happening, perfectly fine. You don't have to like it. But if you do, please hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed and you're watching this after it went live, please subscribe to the channel. And go back at the last couple of videos. I talk about my free consult, and there's links on most of my live streams that you can actually request a free consult if you want to learn more about live streaming tech and things like that. And I do have a consulting program for people on Zoom, so check that out. Lots of weird stuff in the studio tonight. Time wrong, faders going nuts, app going nuts. Yeah, of course, it's live, so things are going to go crazy when you're live. He did say his time was wrong too in Central Time. Let's see, any of this pertinent? I'm talking about on the TV. David? Yes. 2 wrong times. TV. Double trouble. Pull a J, laugh out loud. Laugh out loud. J with all his likes. When are you going to like, David? Do you think the prompter is worth the money? Okay, let's close with that. If you guys are ready to close. Absolutely. I'll tell you why, David. I do a lot of Zoom consults, and now I can put the Zoom right in my prompter. So I can pull it over right now. So you just switch to in the software. I think I still have the software open here. I guess I don't need that open. Let's go to that screen. So you just go to prompter and you go in display mode. And now when I'm in display mode, I think you can see this if I do this. I'm trying to remember how I did that earlier. In text mode, if I bring the, what did I bring down? The brightness? No. The transparency? Where is opacity? Yeah, it changes on my prompter, but not on your guys' screen, so you guys can't see it. But once you're in display mode, it's now a monitor. So if I have a Zoom meeting, or even like my quarterly Zoom gathering that I'd love to have you come to, David. We'll have another one about 2 months from now. We just had one. But we gather on Zoom. It's not live. And I can pull that over on my prompter. So all my consulting now, I'm using the prompter. I think it's a great tool for meetings. I think it's a great tool for that. I think it's a great tool for having a teleprompter. So if you do want to talk and do a video in your studio, you probably already have a prompter, David, but I think it's a great tool, and it's getting better and better. It is USB-C, so you're getting the signal from your computer. So again, it's an extra monitor. It's not like a regular confidence monitor like I have, like this one right here. Can't quite get it on the screen, so I'll change to camera 3. Like this one right here. It's not like that. This is HDMI, so I can send my program. I've split my program, and I can send it to it. But I still love to be able to drag things from my PC over and be able to do that. I could drag PowerPoint over there. I could display PowerPoint to it. There's just a lot of things. So I think it's well worth the money. Obviously, I was an early adopter, so they're still doing firmware updates. That's the moral of the story. I'm actually sending my Rodecaster Pro 2 back. I have 2 of them, and both of them are having the same issue. I didn't talk about this last week, I don't think, on my prompter live streams, but I was waiting for Rodecaster Pro to respond. I'll have to pay for freight to send it back, but they're going to fix it or replace it. I'm having problems with the smart pads. They'll just all of a sudden fire. It could be when I have all this stuff fired up in my studio and the USB-C cable isn't communicating right. But my prompter, my second one, my Rodecaster Pro 2, my second one, not my first one, which is on my desk, which we showed last week in the live stream on Tuesday. So if you want to know more about the Rodecaster Pro, last week's live streams 1 and 2, Tuesday and Wednesday, were all about the Rodecaster Pro 2. But the pads are just firing, and I fired up the one without it even being hooked up to my laptop or hooked up to my PC, and I had the same issue. So hopefully I'll be able to. Now I bought the second prompter secondhand from someone that was attending my live stream, was also a consult that I had, and so I bought my Extreme ISO number 2 and my Rodecaster Pro 2 number 2 from him. Got a really good deal on both of those. Reached out to him today to see if he has original receipt, to see if somehow through him I can get it sent back and replaced. Totally trust him, so I would just pay freight from his house, from my house to his, and then from his there and to his back and back here. Might cost me a couple $100, but that's much better than replacing that $699 Rodecaster Pro 2. So haven't had issues like that with the prompter. I knew there would be little bugs starting out. Now I love the fact that it has an on and off switch, which is really important. I think turning your monitors off and not just leaving them on all the time will save their life. And now that it has that little icon that you can put in the background and even upload your own, I think that's really cool as well, because you can now see the center of where your lens is behind the prompter, and that's really hard for anybody to see. We can look into the middle, but if you have a webcam, it may not be in the middle, because you can use the prompter with a webcam as well. You can use it with DSLRs that you can't mount it to. And I think the thing I like the most about it, David, is that it can hang right off the front of your lens. So that 9-inch monitor gets really close to you. So the monitor I have right now is a confidence monitor. I'm not using the prompter. It's back there all the way. So I have a pretty big lens on there. So it's back 6 inches. And the prompter actually is like 2 inches in front of my lens. So that 9-inch monitor becomes huge in the studio. But keep that in mind, they also stick into your desk space. So you got to make sure you have your camera back 2 or 3 feet from where you're at. I wasn't saying you were doing anything wrong, just ghosting. I know that. Ghost, I had an issue at work where plugging in my headset locked up my computer. Well, that's crazy. Do you find the screen large enough? Yeah, because it hangs off the front of my my lens, David. It is long. It is big enough. So imagine if I put I have a 7-inch monitor. Can I show you guys this? Yes, I can. I'll go all night if you guys want me to. Just kidding. So let's show you my camera. I think this is in what? 4 here. So it hangs off my lens. So that prompter literally, David, is hanging off my lens. I'm running out of cable here because I'm cabled now. It's hanging off the front of my lens. So my confidence monitor would be up there like this one right here. So that's a 7-inch monitor all the way back. The prompter's like right here when I get it mounted. So that's a 9-inch monitor that close to my face. So I'm literally only that far away from it. So plus I can increase the size of the fonts in the app. So if I go to text, I can increase the size of those fonts. So how big do you want it? So, and I mean, I think it's great. So I've tried it with a 100mm lens and an 85 and a 50 a few weeks ago. So you can go check out that video. But that font size right there is plenty big enough for me to read it. And looking into the camera, I think is pretty cool. So anyway, so this is what I was doing early when I was ghosting. And that was because my transition bar got stuck halfway. So, woo. There you go. That's for you, Joe. Okay. So that takes care of David's question, I hope. Keith just landed, still in the plane, taxiing to the gate. Well, welcome. Tony, I told everybody you were flying home. Thank you for tuning in on your flight. Wow. Big shout out to you. Big bonus points for that. In the airport, taxiing in, watching my live stream. What a punishment. Okay, pulling a J. Sorry, I'm behind. That meant that I was looking at the likes and telling people how many likes were in my YouTube algorithm. That's pulling a J, because when I attend your live streams, Mondays or Tuesdays, whenever you have them, I love your technique of telling people how many likes you have so far. I don't ever think about that, so I pulled a J tonight. Laugh out loud. Hey, I have no plans. I'll hang out all night. Yeah, I knew you would say that, Joe. There have been a lot of weird things in general today, yeah, and especially on my live stream. Oh, these aren't displaying. Let's go back and do that again. Hopefully that was up there, David. That was David's question. I wasn't saying you're doing anything wrong. And I demonstrated ghosting. I answered that from David. Do I find the screen large enough? Absolutely. Now, if you were going to use a regular webcam, then you're just going to position it wherever you want on your desk, because the webcam mounts on an L bracket behind it. And then you have a little shroud you put over top of it. You don't need the shroud if you're using the lens adapters, and they give you 9 step-up rings. So ranging up to 82 mil down to, I can't remember, 9. So go 9 steps down. So there's 9 step-up rings. They'll screw on your lens. Obviously, you have to take your cap off, screw those on, and you won't be able to put your regular lens cap back on. So I take them off and stick them on my shelf when I'm not using that, and I want to put my lens cap on to keep light going into my lenses. Okay, just landed. There was Tony's, and Jay said he was behind, and I answered that. Joe, hang out all night. There's been a lot of weird things. I agree. Jay's goes live on Mondays now. Yep. So you can go check out Jay's live stream. He's got some really cool tech going on over at his house. Tony as well has some great tech on Quick Tech Solutions. Joe as well on his other channel. He's building a new channel, and so it's really cool. I inherited a bunch of his old gear, so I have no complaints. Thank you again, Joe. The road problem may be firmware. Yeah, it could be. But I actually, David, waited for firmware after firmware after firmware, and that's why I bought mine in 2022 in June. And so actually in May, I think it arrived in June, maybe late June, because I had to wait for it to come in. They were distributing them. And so for whatever it's worth, I waited for every firmware. I have the newest firmware, and it still does it. So finally I reached out to Rode, hoping that they would still replace it. And they said they will. They pay for freight back to me. So thank you, Rode. That's way better than I experienced someplace else recently, but they did refund me my $55 for sending my extra prompter back, just to get 1 step-up ring, which is kind of weird, but a shout out to Elgato as well for taking care of me and reimbursing me for my freight of the prompter back. That was actually, they said, a clerical error on their side. So I will give them the benefit of the doubt. And Rode as well seems to be really supporting me. And I appreciate that, to buy it in June, have it arrive in June or May, buy it in May of 2022 and being able to get it fixed or replaced here in 2024 is pretty incredible. Yeah, it just seems weird to be two machines. Yeah, it is very weird. And I think both of us bought them really early. I think I bought that second one over a year and a couple months ago or 3 months, and he had it for a while. So I think he bought it about the same time I bought it, because of the influence of the channel maybe. But he's no longer doing this production that he was doing. So he didn't need the extreme ISO anymore, and he didn't need it. He sold a HyperDeck HD. I mean, he was reaching out to me. I just didn't want to sell that gear on my channel. I think I mentioned it once, because I just didn't want to get into used gear on my channel. I had first opportunity on all those things because he was a client of mine, and I did pull the trigger on a second extreme ISO and a Rodecaster Pro 2 to be able to use on the road, as well as put it in permanently when I get Studio B built. And again, we're still on the fence with that because we're trying to get ready for retirement and get out of debt. And I estimated it's 20 grand to build Studio B the way I want to. I could do it in steps. I could do all the labor myself, take a year and a half or 2 years. I could go back to work and sell RVs and get the money pretty quickly. But I really want to focus on the channel, be a grandfather, grandparent, be here to support Shannon, do my clients, do some of these outdoor events, both volunteer as well as funded. So, you know, and I may even decide to go on Social Security next year. You never know. So I was eligible at 62. I'll be 63 very soon. And you never know. But it does limit how much money you can make if you do collect your Social Security early. Okay, well, that's enough for us. Joe, I'm sorry. Ratso's doing great. He always tells me when I talk to him, please, will you make sure to say hi to Joe and the gang here on the live stream. And I'm even considering possibly taking Ratso up to a church that I'm attending up in the valley. I have a friend I've known for a bunch of years. And they've gone through a really hard season through everything that happened in 2019, 2020, 2021. Very close friend. We've done a lot of things together in the past. Haven't spent a lot of time together in the last number of years, but his sons came in and recorded in my old studio. So we recorded, I think, a 9-song LP for them. And so I just decided it's 30 minutes away from my house, 36 minutes. So I decided to start going up there and hang out with him, and it's been a blast. And so I may take Ratso into their children's church. You never know, might scare those little kids. I might even do Ratso with the adults. Who knows? But I just want you to know that he's alive and well, and hanging out somewhere in the garage right now. He's a rat, so you never know what he's up to. Laugh out loud, church rat, laugh out loud. Yeah, exactly. Even a rat has hope, right? Ha, 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 Tony. Okay, well, Tony, get home. Joe, whatever else you want to do tonight. The rest of you, TVJ, David. Let's see, we had 2 Davids on here tonight. Joe, let's see. Man, earlier tonight, I know we had, who was it earlier tonight? I'm missing. My favorite tech. Man, it was way earlier. Lots of texts here. Yeah, I think it was David. Ustream, Ustep Productions, I think. I'm not sure who all's back in here. Yeah, just so I can see who's on right now, I already can see that Tony's here. The wafers are cheese. You're hilarious. One more flight to go. Oh, wow. Sorry about that, Tony. Fly safe, man. I miss you tremendously, as well as, like I said, Freddie Ponce, who's usually with me live. I've reached out to him a number of times in email. I haven't heard from him since around the 22nd or 23rd of December. I send him at least one email every week. So I know he was sick when he reached out to me on the 22nd, 23rd. So I'm just hoping and praying that Freddie is great. So Freddie, if you're watching these videos and not emailing me back, just know I'm thinking of you all the time, because you're usually, you and Hank or whoever, first people in to the live streams each week, and I'm missing you, Freddie. So that's a shout out to Freddie Ponce, who isn't here tonight, but I miss you. Houston Production still here? Cool. Hank is still here. Awesome. Anybody else? David, I know, is probably still here because you just reached out to me a while ago. Okay, well, thank you so much for being with me live. If you want to know more about the Studio Live 32 SC, please let me know in the chat. If you want to know even more about the prompter and do more videos on the prompter, I don't know what else is left for me to cover, but to let me know. I do not have a Facecam Pro, so I can't demo that, but I do love the Elgato products. I love the Stream Decks. I love so much of their products I use, and I really appreciate it. I did have one last thing. I've been going through my ATEM Mini Pro, Extreme ISO input number 2, and I bought this HOSA cord, so I've kept it till tonight to open it up. It's actually got a big tear in it, so I'm just gonna tear it open. Man, I don't even know if I can get in this. There we go. Strong hands. So I recommend HOSA if you're going to go from your Rodecaster Pro. This is a 3-footer, the shortest one I could buy. So I'm going to take my DJI mic kit. I'm a little confused about, I use mic in right now for input number 2 in my ATEM Extreme ISO. So this would plug in right here in the output. And then this would plug into channel 3 and 4. Now, if I was only going to use one of my mics, I could probably just plug one in, because I know, but in fact, that unless you're going stereo to stereo, it's going to go right and left and split them 1/4 inch. I haven't tested it yet, so we might plug this in next week and use my DJI mic kit, which is right here. And this is the older version. They have a newer version that I'm eyeballing. It's got 32-bit float. And I'm going to A/B the comparisons between it and the Rode new Lav Pro, whatever it is. It has 32-bit float as well. It also has intelligent gain leveling built in. I don't know if the new DJI 2 it has that, but this is the original version. It's in a charging case. It has a USB-C and a lightning adapter, so you can plug it into smartphones, as well as it has a little plug to plug it into a camera, and it also comes with a USB-C cable to charge it kit, and you can charge everything by just plugging in a USB-C in the back, and so you can drop them in here to recharge them. I love that they reconnect as soon as you open the case. And again, the Rode Wireless Go and the wireless microphones didn't even have a case, so that's why I went with DJI, and I've had this for a couple of years. I love this, and I may update it to the version 2. We'll see. Again, the batteries will eventually die in these, so keep that in mind. They're not replaceable. If you want replaceable batteries, you need to buy something that's going to cost you a lot more. All of these have batteries built in, including this. And the new receiver, I think, even has in the Rode ones, or the Rode ones have a microphone on the one on your camera. So pretty cool. So I want to run this now into my Rodecaster Pro. It is going to take up 2 channels, but I usually only use 2 of them. I have this microphone live, and I have that microphone live, and I don't like the sound of it. It's a shotgun microphone, but I demoed that last week on Wednesday. If you want to go back and hear what that sounds like on Tuesday live, and then Wednesday with no preamps from the ATEM Extreme ISO. I removed those took the recording out of my Rodecaster Pro, copied those files in, synced them up, and for the whole demo, in the middle of Wednesday's live stream, or actually my uploaded video that's here on my channel, you only have Rodecaster Pro recorded 32-bit audio. And then I used that as a WAV file, brought it into Adobe Premiere, replaced the section in the middle where all the mics are being tested of the video that I shot on Tuesday night, or Wednesday night, excuse me, and then put it all together and upload it on the channel so you can really hear the Rodecaster Pro through these microphones, or these microphones through the Rodecaster Pro, without it being fed into the ATEM and recorded on my ATEM Live like I'm doing right now. So this microphone is going through my Rodecaster Pro, and then from my Rodecaster Pro into the ATEM Extreme ISO. So I removed the Extreme ISO in the video I uploaded, so go check that out. So we'll test this next week. So I'll have it on and plugged in and fired up, and we'll try my lab mic next week and see if it sounds any better, and I can use that to walk around the studio. So that's all I had. That was a bonus edition. So was the Epoch Cam Live app. That was a bonus tonight that wasn't in the description, so I hope you guys enjoyed that. I'm rolling out. Miss you horrendously. You're still making fun of me, and it's so late at night for you to continue to do that, Joe. Enjoyed all the prompter knowledge. Mine just came in. I know it's going to be one of my favorite tools. Cool. USEP Productions has a prompter. Hank has a prompter. We'll have to start a prompter Zoom together and talk about it. So if you guys would like to do that and you haven't already got my email, just go over to my website. I will put a link in the description tonight and just say I want to join the prompter Zoom, and we'll have a Zoom talking about our prompters, and I'll even have my prompter in the Zoom meeting and use it. So thanks for the stream. Yep. Nice cable. Yeah, I like HOSA. I recommend HOSAs. Let me know if you want me to put an Amazon Associate affiliate link in the description tonight for this 3-footer. And I would appreciate it if you use that link, because then you pay the same, but I get some support from Amazon. So it pays to be an associate with those guys. And I'm very thankful for the little bit of funds that come in that pay for cables like this. Occasionally it pays for a Batman figure. Just depends on what kind of mood I'm in. So, which goes in the studio on a shelf. So I know I love you too, man. Someday we will meet in person. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I got a chance to have you on the Zoom call, Joe, and see your studio. I absolutely love the relationship. No complaints. I'm teasing back because we've been on these live streams together for so long. So if the rest of you are thinking I'm picking on Joe, he's picking on me, this is just normal. Ratso would have never showed up in a live stream ever on my channel if it wasn't for Joe heckling me for the longest time. So if you want to see what Ratso's all about, just go back in the live streams. He's there. I even had a post show for a while that Ratso would come in and make appearances. Rudy was on there, Grandpa Jones. Actually, I was a ventriloquist for many, many years, and kind of retired from being a ventriloquist. I don't have the energy to do kids events anymore, birthdays, all that stuff. So, and I'm not traveling like Jeff Dunham. But if I practiced and rehearsed and had some good characters and developed them, who knows? I might fill coliseums like Jeff has, but that's just not my focus. But I love bringing Ratso in every so often. And yeah, you're a great sport too, Joe. Well, that's it. I'm going to say goodnight. Thank you for joining here at Life Journey Production Studios. My name is Keith, and I will see you in the next video. And Benjamin C. Bear actually joined the chat once as well. So 4 characters, all live. And I did performances live. Some of them sucked in my opinion. Some of them rocked in my opinion. And Ratso even came to my Christmas show, if I remember right. So go check that out, and I will see you guys next time. I'm out.